Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, whatever time it is out there. It's Sam. Hi everyone, welcome back to another Bronies UK video. Right, so this is something which to be frank, I realised I hadn't talked about this particular interesting subject on this channel, and I've been meaning to for a while. Now, I will post a link in the description below if you want to check out what I'm about to talk about. I was going to try and use some screen capture videos, but for some annoying reason my screen capture software is not wanting to work at the moment, and it's just giving me a black screen when I try and record. So, without further ado, this is what I want to talk about. I will read all this information on this page, and then we can discuss it. So, shock horror people, but not too long ago, somebody started a petition to have My Little Pony, Friendship is Magic, cancelled in order to end the Brony fan base. Yes, somebody actually started a petition on change.org to have the franchise shut down so the fan base would end. And in reality, that wouldn't happen because, you know, bloody hell, there's some, you know, you're talking about a fan base doesn't end because the show it's based on finishes or ends or gets cancelled, it still continues. But anyway, so this petition was started, I believe, just around the time Season 2 had finished. So it was just at the time the Brony fan base was really coming to light. So, I'm going to read the information on the petition, and we'll go from there. So, the petition is as follows on change.org. Cancel the series My Little Pony Friendship is Magic to end the Brony fandom. And the following information is, this cartoon series has developed a very large, strange and terrible following. Bronies, as they like to call themselves, claim that, like the cartoon My Little Pony Friendship is Magic, aka FIM or MLP FIM, all in innocent fun. Maybe for the time it is. But not many. Having spent enough time on the internet and encountering many Bronies, I've learned they are a very hostile group, verbally attacking and harassing anyone who doesn't agree with them. I've also learned that there are many people on the internet who hate Bronies for the way they act, and I honestly can't blame them. Since there is so much info to this, I have put this into a few sections. Goes on to say, to the parents, for the love of God, do not let your children search for My Little Pony on the internet. These Bronies twist the cartoon in ways to suit themselves and their disturbing desires, such as making violent or pornographic pictures or videos featuring the characters, sometimes even including the children characters, so basically the characters from the show, some of which can easily be found on YouTube or even image searches. The searches may vary from place to place, but I can assure you, violent and pornographic content that children should not see will be found. Included at the bottom of this petition are several links of proof. One to a disturbingly violent MLP video. I strongly suggest you do not have your children in the room if you decide to view these links. And it goes on to follow. Recent drama within the Brony community. A fan-made character made by Bronies was recently added to the cartoon, which in itself was surprising enough. But when the character didn't live up to their expectations, the Brony community collectively raged at the makers of the cartoon and even sending death threats to them. One case in particular is an online user and artist who goes by the name of Yamino, who quite simply stated her opinion on the character was only slightly negative. She felt as if the character stereotypes the mental disability or made fun of them. I assume we're talking about Derpy at the moment. The Bronies saw this and reacted with a force of which I've never seen on the internet before. Yeah, just to backpedal there. I know it's 28. It was 2017 when it came out, but hey, you should have seen a backlash for the Force, the Last Jedi. Yeah, that was something. Anyway, They sent hundreds, maybe even thousands of hate messages, including death threats to Yamino over having a slightly negative opinion on their character. Yes, you read that right. They flipped out over the character not being the way they wanted, and they did the same at someone for having a negative opinion on the exact character. Okay, so general Brony attitude. On the very surface, they can be nice and friendly, especially in public. Online, they will be careful about what they say and how they act around their parents, trying to explain that they only like the cartoon in sweet, harmless fun. Don't you believe that for a second? This is just so ridiculous. On top of the violence and pornographic mentioned earlier, with nearly anyone else on the internet, they will constantly try to convert people into being bronies. They will harass anyone who doesn't instantly like MLP, and they do the same to anyone who doesn't agree with them. I personally have been harassed by them to the point of permanently leaving multiple websites because it's just become too much to deal with. Sometimes all it takes is saying, I don't like My Little Pony. Fair enough, mate, your choice, you don't have to like it. Literally, they hate and harass people who like the older generation of the cartoon. Again, I don't think that's true. I think there's quite a lot of people in the fandom who like the older generation and get on with everybody just fine, as far as I'm aware. The Brony following grew out of 4chan and still has a very strong connections there. Even people who make the cartoon visit the site. Ooh, big shocker. People of Hasbro like to see what the fans are up to. Where was it? Oh, yeah. Not to mention, there is a porn site on the internet with 124 pages of My Little Pony porn. Really, only 124 pages. It's probably a hell of a lot more than that. Each page is a maximum of 60 images. This is approximately 7,440 pornographic images of a cartoon made for children. This is exactly what the Brony fanbase is about. The fanbase isn't hard to find either. There's no restrictions on who can enter. Well, no, anybody can join the fanbase. That's what a fanbase is about. There is never a page telling minors to leave the website. If you click the wrong link to this site, you won't even know it's a porn site until you start seeing pictures. Conclusion. There are by far the worst thing to ever happen to the internet. Really? Really? I can think of a lot of things that are far worse than a bit of MLP porn. Seriously far worse. Don't get me wrong, there are some good ones, perhaps many, but the majority of the fandom is made up of many, many terrible people, including paedophiles and people who like bestiality. My Little Pony Friendship is Magic should be cancelled and taken off the air. How such disturbing behaviour has gone under the radar truly baffles me. Please sign the petition and spread the word. And then it just states, I suggest people sign this petition anonymously to prevent harassment, spam and death threats from Bronies. Right, so that was probably the most ridiculous thing I've ever read. For a start, I have never been aware of any of the Bronies that I know ever threatening people, ever issuing death threats, or ever being arseholes to people who don't like the franchise. Secondly, I've only ever been aware of the Brony fanbase being very nice people and being very open and welcoming people. Now, I've no doubt there are bad apples in the fanbase. Hell, there's bad apples in every fanbase, but that's usually a majority of the fanbase. And let's just be, come on, we're adults here. There should be, if there are any kiddies watching this video, well, you should be watching this video. So yeah, don't watch this video on the subjects we're about to discuss. When it comes to clopping, as it's known, or pornographic material for MLP, let's be honest. There's clop pornographic stuff for every franchise. There's even it for Transformers, and I'm a big Transformers fan. There's bloody, you name it, it exists. There's tons of it when it comes to the Sonic franchise, but we're not here to talk about that kind of stuff. I mean, that again only represents a bit of the fan base. And realistically, a lot of this YouTube stuff that the guy's mentioning is basically stuff like Cupcakes, the infamous grim, dark, gory, bloody fan fiction that gives me shivers, where Rainbow Dash is basically a serial killer. Somebody actually turned it into a miniature animated film on YouTube. Yeah, it's gory, it's bloody, but it is following YouTube's rules. So it's a restricted video. Children will only be able to view it if they're actually on a logged in account on YouTube. The other video that's mentioned is the video that's called Shed. It's that like really weird MLP series, like little miniature MLP cartoon where they're all basically stoners, and Discord is a giant Godzilla-sized god thing. It's basically that really weird, little animated thing on there. But yeah, you get stuff like that. But that doesn't represent the fan base. And the fact that this guy seems to think that all bronies are going to basically send him death threats and harass him if they find out about this petition. Oh, I should mention about this petition. It was done about 7 years ago and had only 62 supporters and never went anywhere. I mean, Hasbro would never cancel something that was their baby and that was a massive money maker. Interestingly, some of the people basically commenting on this really make a good point. One person states, "I must say this is a rather adherent petition you've got," and I use the term petition lightly, "claiming that the minority of a fandom is the majority. Logically, you have to try better than this if you wish to get anyone's attention." Yeah, fair point. One person stated, "I'm only signing this to get my thoughts out there for you to see. I am a brony." Hats off to you, mate. One of the so-called very large, strange and terrible following. As always, parents are only paying attention to the vocal minority and not the true bronies. The majority of bronies, the real bronies, generally love the show. It has great animation, incredible voice acting and great singing. And it's actually a deep and complex show that doesn't patronise its viewers. Is it that hard for you to accept? Yes, there are weirdos and freaks that are bronies, but again, that is the minority. But they are very vocal. Everything with a large fan base will get perverted in places. That is true. It's a rule of life. People are sick and disturbed sometimes. So I blame the entire brony community or the show for this. How about you actually parent your children instead of whining about every little damn thing? Respect whoever said that. One person states, "Seriously, there is nothing negative about MLP. It's one of the best shows I've ever watched." Then another one stated, let me laugh. I guess you don't know the reasons when you talk about the mentally disabled pony, aka Derpy. Bronies like her because she was different and was a proof of tolerance, not to laugh about her. So when you don't know the truth, you should just shut the F up. Really. You can't prevent someone to love something with a stupid petition. When I read this, I guess you'll think the bronies are all the same. That like I'd say Catholics are all dummies and priests are all paedophiles, isn't it? But anyway, this petition is just hilarious. I don't know if there are any others like this. I'm not aware of any, but if anybody knows of any, let us know. But as I said, this had less than 62 supporters, and it looks like 90% of the supporters only signed up to it to basically tell the guy he was an idiot. So yeah, isn't that fascinating, people? That at the influx, just at the end of Season 2, as we were going into Season 3, when the brony fan base was really at its highest point, somebody started a petition to try and shut down the brony fan base, with no success. I mean, that just wouldn't happen. I mean, clearly, that is someone who has an axe to grind after possibly freaking out over somebody saying something to him online they didn't agree with. But anyway, that was it, people. That was the petition we just talked about. I have no words at all to think, bloody hell, can't believe someone actually set up a petition to try and shut it down. But anyway, you've heard about it, I've spoken about it, and I don't think I have much more to say on the matter other than, let's be honest, the brony fan base is great. I've never had any bad experiences with any bronies. I really enjoy it. The show's great. The brony fan base is amazing. The fact that we've got amazing artists, amazing musicians, amazing voice actors doing their own shows based off fan fictions. We have just a sheer volume of people that love the franchise for what it is and understand the message that it is, and it has helped so many people. So, I just want to say thanks for watching this video again. I'll post the link on the comments on the description for that petition, and also I may come back another day and do another video if I can find this, because I am aware of at least 2 videos on YouTube where you've got basically parents talking about MLP and basically saying why they don't think their children should be allowed to watch it. If I can ever find those videos, I'll do some sort of video to them. But anyway, peace out guys, thanks very much for watching this video, and let me all know what you think in the comments below about this whole petition that flopped, failed and was stupid. Thanks for listening. It's been Sam at Bronies UK. Once again, peace out, have an awesome day. See you guys.